All right, and welcome back to episode 74 of the Alec Frengos show. This is a sports podcast centered around NBA and NFL. And I'm joined today by usual suspects, Joey Price, Ryan McKellar. And today we're going to be predicting the AFC North. AFC North. We're also going to be discussing a bunch of training camp highlights that have dropped recently in the last week and some controversies, some extensions, etc., etc. So we'll start off, first of all, with the most recent news. Kayshon Boutte traded to the Texans from my Patriots. 7th round pick and a young safety. I forget his Jaden Reed?
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
Something like that.
Third year out of Penn State now. I'll start off. My opinion, I never wanted to trade Kayshon just because I know his trade value doesn't really match what he produces on field. Mm-hmm. And my ideal Patriots offseason, if I could have it my way, whether it's right or wrong, perfect offseason, I don't think I would have signed Romeo Doubs. I think I would have let Kayshon Boutte slide into this wide receiver 2 because he's had a great connection with Drake May. A.J. Brown's obviously the one. And then you're saving a lot of money because for me, Boutte and Doubs, are they that far apart? Is it that much of a gap?
Yeah, I'd say they're different players.
They're different players, but in a wide receiver 2 role, I feel like it's pretty not night and day difference to me. But anyways, the Patriots wide receiver room's been a big controversy all offseason throughout the NFL and Patriot Nation because you've got A.J. Brown now, you got Romeo Doubs, then you've got Kyle Williams, who's up and coming, making plays every week. You've got Mac Hollins, who's probably the best blocking wide receiver, maybe the best blocking receiver on the team, including tight ends. Demario Douglas. There's a lot of options on this team. What do you think of this trade, and how does it shake up the Patriots wide receiver room?
It doesn't shake up their receiver room a whole lot. I think it just gives Boutte an opportunity to do something elsewhere. His talent was definitely being held back already in New England, and then if they were to keep him on the roster this year, you wouldn't see him much at all. So it's a good fresh start for him on a team that definitely needs some talent in the wide receiver room after losing Jaden Higgins. Sure. There's going to be a lot of in and outs on that team at wide receiver, finding out who's going to be the 2, who's going to be the 3. So I think it's going to be a good start for Boutte.
Yeah, I think before you go, Boutte definitely deserves a fresh start because he was a 7th round pick. He had a lot of controversy in college, and he kind of found a role in the Patriots while all being a cut candidate his first 2 years. Him and Drake May really blossomed. He made big plays against the Texans, the touchdown over Stingley.
Which is weird.
He had many crazy plays. Yeah. It's just weird irony, but this is a great move for the Texans. And we were talking about last episode how they're Super Bowl contenders. Now they get a pretty legit guy to fill in for Jaden Higgins.
Yeah, it's a good deal. I don't understand why the Patriots moved them to a team that, they beat in the playoffs, but they could definitely see them again. And, with how we're predicting the Texans this year, most would see the Texans as the favorites going into that game this season. So kind of a weird landing place to trade him to, but
it is
a great deal for a young player that was kind of buried in a depth chart.
Yeah, he was.
And now will get a chance to shine an offense that needs another playmaker.
Yeah, I don't know. The Patriots wide receiver room, it always used to be so weak. Now we have our top 5 players are guys who have actually done stuff. Mac Hollins and Demario Douglas at the bottom of the depth chart. They made playoff plays. Demario Douglas had the touchdown against the Texans along with Kayshon. Mac Hollins had some big receiving plays and big blocks and just good for the team. And then Kyle Williams, 2nd rounder out of Washington State. He's up and coming. He keeps proving himself why he should be fully in the wide receiver room this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Patriots offense kind of shakes out and what type of chemistry Drake May and Romeo Doubs, because if Doubs disappoints this year for me, I'm going to be pretty fed up because we paid him a lot of money and we could have just had Kayshon slide into that position for me. But yeah, it is what it is. But another controversy here out of the NFL and I guess college, Dae'Quan Wright, drafted by the Browns, I believe, has been released because he's committing to LSU, and he was at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin, got drafted. Lane Kiffin recruited him now back to college after he's been in Browns training camp playing with the Browns. You too watch college heavy, so you're a bit more in tap with this. How does this work, and is this a problem, big problem for the future? Because when I look at it at first glance, I think this can't happen anymore.
Yeah, it's a big problem with college sports, basketball and football, with like these kids move teams, like they don't like the coach, they don't get playing time, they're like don't ever face like the adversity to like work through problems, they just move to the next situation.
Yeah, and they get paid a whole bunch of money too.
With this specific situation, like it's ridiculous. You get pro experience, you get drafted.
Did he play in the preseason?
I'm assuming he did. And then he just goes back to college.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense when they're drafted and they're getting pro experience. And they're going and playing against 18-year-olds. How
does this make sense?
It doesn't, and I think it had to do something with he had a redshirt year or something. It was something weird going on there, and I think he was still actually in the transfer portal as he got drafted. So I think one, that's partially on the team who drafted him too. But then two, they definitely didn't expect him to go back to college because you've never seen that before in the NFL and college, nothing like it. The NBA started a new wave doing it. Players are going to find loopholes to try and go back and play, do whatever they can. But I feel like it's just something that shouldn't happen, and the NFL should have to come out and make a legit statement, something that NBA didn't do, and say, hey, if you've gone pro, you've gone pro. There's no going back. You made the commitment to go pro to the draft. You told teams to draft you, and now you're here going back to college to play another year. I don't think that should be allowed at all.
Yeah. It's honestly crazy how this is allowed, but this NIL has almost ruined everything, right? This is the reason for it. Like, there's no way you get... Tell me 10 years ago a player that gets drafted to the NFL wants to go back to college.
No.
Nobody wants to go back to college.
Because you're making the big bucks. Now people make more in college than you can do in your NFL contract.
Yeah. So that's bad. And speaking of the Cleveland Browns, recently announced today, along with the Boutte trade, Deshaun Watson is QB1. He said some crazy shit after the game towards the Browns fans. People are like, are we going to cut this guy? Are we going to let him play? He's going against the fan base. He gets named QB1 today, and now he's apologizing to the fan base. Was this the right move? And is he going to be benched for Shedeur? What type of collapse? Because we're going to talk about the AFC North here, so it's right on par. Watson QB1. Thoughts? We talked about this earlier.
We talked about it a month ago, and I don't know about you, but I think most of us were consensus. You start Watson.
For sure.
You're paying him, $46 million, something like that.
Yeah, this news doesn't surprise me.
I understand why he's the starter,
Same.
But after the results of Saturday, his performance just looks lost out there. And then the comments after the game, like,
it doesn't get much worse.
Sabotage to the Browns fans. Like, how do those fans even want to go and watch the game if he's the starter? But I have a few points on why I think they are starting him.
For sure.
Not that I support it.
Yeah.
But their first two games are in Jacksonville and in Tampa Bay.
So it's a good test.
Away from the fans. You start in those two games, see if you have anything left. If not, you start Shedeur back home against the Panthers week 3. And then also you're paying him all this money.
That's the main point, right?
Like, ownership is definitely saying, hey, like, we're paying this guy so much money. We're not just letting him sit on the bench all year.
Yeah. So, do you want to add anything else? A point that I have that I was saying the whole time, like, Shedeur might be the better quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
Right now, he looks like it.
It depends, but the ownership, Todd Monken said, I think, when he announced Sunday night that the QB1 decision will only be his decision no matter what the ownership or management says. There's no way in hell he took this job and he didn't know who he was going to choose. They sat down with him. They said, if he's healthy, he's going to be our guy. We're paying him all this money. There's no way they came in and we're going to be like, hey, we have a guy that's making $50 million a year on the bench. If you want him to, just go figure out who the best guy is. The Browns aren't going anywhere. They don't need to do that. They said they have to play Deshaun Watson. Their hands fully forced. Do you agree?
I do. I think, first of all, you have to see you have in Deshaun Watson. I think definitely how I look at training camp in their situation, the training camp doesn't matter for me because one will be playing with the ones, one will be playing with the twos, switch ever so often, whatever. But I think how you said the first 2 weeks will be the real test, see what you have in Watson. I do think Shedeur might be the better quarterback than Deshaun Watson, but I feel like this is the perfect situation where You throw Watson right out there. If he struggles and he's bad, the whole media is blasting Watson, saying, bring in Shedeur. Then you can ease in Shedeur and completely block out the Watson scenario 100%. After you finally come to a consensus saying, you know what, Watson's fully lost his game. He's not our guy. Let's start whenever you start with Shedeur and go fresh from here and then carry on. So I feel like, honestly, Shedeur, it should be a perfect spot for him. He's got no stress on his plate, knowing he's not the starter. He can come in throughout the year and maybe salvage a Browns season.
It's honestly crazy how the NFL works, because Shedeur went from being the talk of training camp last year to now. Silence about Shedeur, all the noise to Watson. When Shedeur comes in, it's going to seem like he has no pressure. It's really, really weird how much in a year can change, but you got the Shedeur hype out of the way too last year. It's like, we want to see this guy, So this year we're going to see, will he develop? What will he look like? Unless Watson obviously gets back to form, which is very unlikely. But yeah, that was news that was expected today, and I'm glad that got cleared up before we predicted this division too, because it maybe could shake some things up. Another thing out of training camp yesterday, Ashton Genty had a big scare, only a sprained ankle. No cart, but he was helped off and he was down for minutes. Teammates saying prayers per reports. How bad would have this been for the Raiders if Ashton Genty were to go down? Because I feel like he's going to be the engine of the offense no matter which quarterback is going to be in, which we'll debate in the AFC West episode coming up soon.
Yeah, with an offense that really only has two pieces, Genty and Bowers, and then a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
Also, Clint Kubiak coming in. He likes using the run a lot, open up the pass. So this would be a big loss, especially when you have a rookie quarterback who needs a good run game to relieve some pressure whenever he comes in. So yeah, that would have been a big loss for them.
In my opinion, if it was like a major injury, which what it looked like earlier, thank God it's not, I would have been aboard saying don't play Mendoza at all this year, because it's tricky to put a young QB in there with no run game, even though Washington Jr. He's looked promising in training camp, but still without a real workhorse, it's hard for a young QB. You need a run game, you need sustainability in the offense. If he was out the whole year, you kind of got to say, hey, Cousins, you got to go out there and you probably got to get murdered this year, right? Like, without a run game, what much more? He's not mobile himself, so I don't really know how it would have worked, but he's okay. That's just in the past. Touch up on it. We'll move to a segment before we predict the AFC North. Defense is a very important part of football, and although it doesn't win teams championships, especially in football, because it's the ultimate team game, it's a very pivotal factor in what makes a good team go. So top 5 defenses in the NFL, you list your 5, and then we'll go around and see if we have kind of the same consensus 5 teams. So you read your 5 first. 5 to 1.
5 to 1. 5, I have the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
4, the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3, Seattle Seahawks. 2, LA Rams. And 1, Houston Texans.
Okay.
5, I have the Ravens. 4, the Eagles. 3, the Seahawks. 2, the Rams. And number 1, the Texans.
Okay, so we're pretty much in the same ballpark. 5, I got the Ravens. 4, I got the Broncos. 3, I got the Rams. 2, I got the Seahawks. 1, I got the Texans. I just favor the Seahawks a little bit over the Rams just because we haven't seen Garrett and if Donald's going to come back. Fair. But McDuffie too. But if the Rams fully get clicking, they're probably the best defense in the NFL beside the Texans and Seahawks. But did we have anybody not on the same list? I had Ravens.
Steelers.
Steelers. You think they can go again this year?
I think they can go again this year, and they added 2 sneaky pieces, Jamel Dean and Jaquan Brisker. If they're healthy and they can stay healthy, it adds into I think they've already had a pretty good defense to begin with, and like Joey Porter Jr. is a legit guy out there, so having Jamel Dean as well, and
Jalen Ramsey,
Jalen Ramsey, wherever he plays this year, they're gonna bring Asante Samuel back on a full season, so they're actually not a bad team.
They want Jalen Ramsey at safety, right?
It was it was something like that, and then have Jaquan Brisker out there, who's actually a pretty good player, like he's very good,
strong safety.
So I think their defense can get back to playing elite football, and I mean like. Good Steelers defense is good football if we all want to watch it to begin with. So,
but that's a good point because the Steelers D-line is full of first-round picks, too. You got T.J. Watt, you got Keanu Benton, you got Cam Jordan, you got, who's the other guy in there from Oregon? Derek Harmon. Like, there's just guys everywhere.
Yeah, they can be so
There's guys
solid.
everywhere on that D-line, but I feel like some have been in and out with injury. In the opposite edge rusher, Highsmith.
Nick Herbig, too, is
out of
good
Wisconsin,
edge rusher,
right?
too.
He kind of plays off the ball a little bit as well, right?
A little, yeah.
But no, yeah. But there's a lot of good defenses. But if we were to consensusly say the best defense in the NFL,
It's the Texans.
I go Texans.
Just so fierce.
Until we see something with the Rams.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Rams have the best defense and that offense is back in form,
you shouldn't lose a game.
I mean, how do you really stop it? Realistically, you shouldn't lose a game.
Yeah.
Let's go to the AFC North. One of the most debated divisions every year. Probably the best rivalry division in the NFL. Joey, number 4.
Number 4, I got the Cleveland Browns.
How bad is it?
3-14. I actually was higher on them. A month ago when we were talking about it. I was like, I wasn't saying playoff team. I was like, the roster's like decent.
It is.
But ultimately, the offense is going to be probably the worst in the NFL. They may lead the league in turnovers this year from the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Whether that's fumbles, interceptions.
Yeah, because Watson and Shador both fumble the ball,
They both fumble. The offensive line isn't great. The receivers, they're young. Who knows what they have there. It's a disaster on offense, and you lose the best player in the NFL on defense. That's got to matter a little bit. Yeah. So, 3-14.
Yeah, for me, honestly, this might be a little bit of a surprise, but coming in at number 4, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 4-13.
Whoa!
I just don't really think. I think this is where the team the wheels completely fall off. They lose Mike Tomlin. They don't have the devil magic now to be above 500 every year. Rodgers, he announced his last year. Mike McCarthy's in there with him. I think Mike McCarthy's a one-and-done coach, and then he goes to television or something. I think that he's not going to be able to rebuild this team. I thought last year, once Tomlin went, the Steelers were going to pull the plug and be like, hey, we're not going to re-sign Rodgers even on a 1 year, even if he wants to come back. I thought they were going to get somebody like Jesse Minter. I thought maybe they'd be in talks for somebody like John Gruden, et cetera, different young names that can kind of bring this team up with a young QB, but they re-signed Rodgers. The run game is mid with
Warren and Dowdle.
Warren. It doesn't move me. Metcalf and Pittman can't separate. They're just big body receivers that can catch. They lost Calvin Austin. They're deep threat. So for me, it's like Pat Freiermuth. What is he? He's not that good. The Steelers' O-line has never been elite, especially with a statue that's going to be back there now. So I don't know. It's a tough division. They got a tough schedule. I was going through it again today. It's not pretty at all. So Steelers,
it's harsh.
Bad year. But hey, if this happens this year, this actually might be the best.
It is the best thing.
It's the best thing for the Steelers because they can let McCarthy go. They bring in a fresh QB in what looks to be a loaded class. And hey, maybe they're back in the playoffs next year. You never know what can happen in the NFL.
Oh, for sure.
This could be a blessing in disguise for Steelers, but fans will hate it just because it's a bad record. But it could be the best thing that's ever happened to them. Go ahead.
I have the Cleveland Browns at 4-13. I just feel like you can't have a good year when you're going to have a consistent dark cloud over your team and a QB controversy. Like every week, week in, week out, there's going to be talks about the quarterback, switch here, switch there. So I feel like you just can't have a sustainable team with that pressure going on. And then their offense, like you touched on, their wide receivers and even their running backs, they're full of first and second year guys. So there's going to be lots of growing pains.
It's young.
You have no connections. Sadly, have to say that Jerry Jeudy might be an issue with all these drops I'm seeing in
he might be a cut candidate
too,
if I'm being honest.
which is very sad.
He might be a cut candidate
this year, but
I really love Jerry Jeudy, but still, it's
too,
like
man.
I just feel like there's gonna be too many growing pains on this offense for them to put up enough points to win. And you touched on losing Myles Garrett. Jared Verse is a great player, but Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett, so you're losing the best defensive player in the league. So you're gonna take a hit on defense.
Maybe of all time, people are starting to talk about too. And also on the topic of what I said about Mike McCarthy, you never know. Like Todd Monken, like he's one of the oldest coaches in the NFL. Mm-hmm. If they're gonna get a young QB, the ownership might just say Andrew Berry's gonna be gone this year. I can almost guarantee you that he's out of there. They might just clean house and fully reset it because Browns fans, I don't know. I saw this tweet today from somebody. I don't know how Browns fans do it.
No,
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. Like Jets fans and Browns fans, it doesn't get much worse in sports.
No.
Number 3.
I have the Steelers at 7-10.
Okay.
I think they're good enough to have a solid record, but ultimately we know what their ceiling is. It's a first-round playoff exit when Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson are hurt for the whole season.
Literally.
So
they got so lucky.
You touched on it, the offense, it's just a bunch of mid.
It is a bunch of mid.
It's workable guys that can make some stuff happen, but it's limited for sure, especially with Rodgers, who is probably a bottom 5-7 quarterback nowadays. I do like the defense, great pieces there. You touched on some of the additions they added, so
that's what's just gonna win them games.
Yeah, that's what I think 7 games is fair.
It is fair.
But yeah, I don't have much hope, and I can see McCarthy being fired.
Yeah, I'm just lower on it just because sometimes when you predict schedules, you can't just, like, sometimes I feel like I'm so in the middle with teams and I just got to pick a side. Like, are they going to completely fall off or are they going to be better than expectations? And for me, I'm like, these are one of the teams where they don't have any upside to me. So what if TJ Watt, he can never stay healthy really either. He's the engine of the defense. If he goes down again, what does this team really have? So for me, it's like, I don't even know who the defensive coordinator is.
They got Patrick Graham from the Raiders.
Okay.
Who's an upgrade, in my opinion.
Number 3 for me, the Cleveland Browns. Just can't put them over the Bengals or Ravens amidst injuries. 5-12, 3-3 in the division. I just kind of go chop in the division because sometimes Cleveland wins those weird games at home too. One thing I want to touch about the young pieces on this team: Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, Quinshon Judkins, Harold Fannin, Dylan Sampson, Spencer Fano, I believe, their O-tackle, who's been going at it with Verse all training camp I've been seeing. They could have a lot of upside if they end up striking a big-time QB. So I feel like this is a developmental year for the Cleveland Browns, and they could be good in a couple of years, honestly. Like we talked about a month ago, like they have pieces where guys can develop. I just don't know if the coaching will be able to get them to that level. But this year, I think we're definitely going to see which guys are safe for a rebuild that's soon to come.
3, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 8-9.
Okay.
I feel like bringing in Mike McCarthy, a familiar face for Aaron Rodgers, might be just solid enough to like keep them in that hovering that 500 line. I can't see them having any higher ceiling than say 10 wins. I'll just say. I think the running back room might be pretty good. It's full of hard hitters, so I feel like that'll like suit Pittsburgh really well.
Yeah.
And I think Rodgers will benefit off the hard hitters in his backfield. I already touched on their defense. I already touched on the Steelers, so I'll end it there at 8-9.
Yeah. Also, one thing about the Steelers that I randomly saw it. Remember that guy that always chews the gum so hard? Their special teams coach, that Danny Smith guy. He's gone.
Oh, is
he went to Tampa Bay? I'm pretty sure. I saw him in the preseason game.
I just can picture that guy on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, he was just hucking chew on the sideline. But no, he's gone. But that's just a random side point that I just thought of. Number 2, Bengals or Ravens?
Number 2, I have the Bengals. I've been going back and forth on this all off season, partly because of the schedule is why I've been thinking both teams. But ultimately, I have the Bengals at number 2 at 10-7. Unbelievable offense. I think they're going to produce this year.
Barring injury.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, that's just the main thing when we talk about the Bengals. Like, how much more do we need to talk about Cincinnati? Because there's just been one thing that's been hanging over their head for the last, 3 years now. It's been the injuries. Same thing for me. Number 2, Bengals, 10-7, 3-3 in the division, 7th spot in the playoffs. For me, it's going to be a thing. This team, has a fetish of selling in the regular season. I don't know why they always suck. They always have injuries, which is unlucky, but at the same time, Burrow's had a hard time staying healthy because it's always been some new major injury that he's came across. But if this team can just find a way to get into the playoffs, and they have Chase, they have Burrow, they have Higgins, they have their offensive line, they have Dexter Lawrence, it's going to be play ball. So I just want to see the Bengals get in. This is probably my last year. I'm going to put all my chips in for them just to even make the playoffs, because if they get hurt or some BS happens again, I'm just going to throw this team in the trash, personally.
I have the Bengals at 2 at 9-8. I can't keep putting them any higher because of health issues.
I understand.
I think we can already schedule in a T. Higgins injury at some point this year because it has to happen every year. And it's up to Joe Burrow. The 1 year we've seen him fully healthy, he went to the Super Bowl. So can he get back to being fully healthy? I don't know. He's hurt all the time. And whenever he gets hurt, that offense just can't do anything. And it's a complete waste of a high potential team. The only thing I do see this year that's different compared to the past years is they do have a pretty solid defense. Like, they brought
this is the best defense.
Like, Dexter Lawrence is a huge name. I think their secondary is still pretty weak, but having Dexter Lawrence is an automatic game changer. I'm pretty sure he was an All-Pro at one point in his career.
Yeah.
So I think this is like the last straw that the Bengals have. Like, if you can't do anything now, I feel like you'll just consistently be like a mediocre team at best.
You got to sell everything.
Yeah, it's their fourth year. Or they've missed the playoffs 3 straight years, I'm pretty sure.
And if they do miss the playoffs this year, we can say it on air that Zach Taylor will probably be fired.
He should have been fired
I don't know how
a while ago.
I don't know how many years now I've said that Zach Taylor should have been fired, but it will probably make me sick if I went back and watched every time I said that. Another piece on that defense to look out for, Boye Mafe on that Seahawks.
They
Super Bowl
need an
team.
edge rusher to break out.
That guy
They
can
got
fly,
3 young
man. And
guys.
Shamar Stewart, he got hurt, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a scare, but
Okay, it was a
I
scare.
didn't feel
But like, hey,
yeah,
Boye
it looked
Mafe,
bad.
Shamar Stewart, if one of them can start teeing off in replace of Trey Hendrickson, who is also on the Ravens.
Yeah.
What type of team are we talking about with the Bengals if they're healthy? Like, this could be a pretty elite team. Number one,
I have the Baltimore Ravens. Ultimately, I think they have the best quarterback in the division, the best head coach, which factors in a lot, and the best defense in the division. Their defense has a star at every level.
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith. And the big addition, Trey Hendrickson. And then they get Matabike back.
I was going to touch on that.
2 years ago, just an absolute demon.
13 and a half sacks, I think, as a nose tackle.
Yeah, just unbelievable numbers. So I think they get back to what their standard is. Last year,
it was a down year.
They didn't have a pass rusher, and it really hurt. Like Marlon Humphrey, he had the worst year of his career.
He just got toasted. But like at the same time, it's not on him because he's never had somebody have that much time ever.
So there'll be a lot more pressure this year, and I hope the Ravens get Jacoby Lane breaks, or like not breaks out, but shows
solid
that he can,
wide receiver too.
They need another piece on offense to.
I think he can be that.
Yeah,
I
me
think
to be
the hype
fully
is real.
convinced in them.
Just imagine if this team got Max Crosby. Like, what if that trade went through?
Yeah.
This team would be. I'd probably predict the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl probably if they had Max Crosby. I probably would. Because he can just, like, even if Lamar has a mediocre game in the playoffs, he can be there and he could wreck the game. So could Kyle Hamilton. So could Matabike.
Yeah.
So could Roquan Smith. But I think the difference from Max Crosby to Trey Hendrickson is, like, insane. Like, Max Crosby's here, Trey Hendrickson's, like, different tier for sure. It's just Max Crosby's on the Raiders, man.
Well, yeah. They just need a pass rusher.
Max Crosby's never played in a meaningful game in his NFL career before.
The one against the Bengals.
Okay, yeah, true.
Wild card
in 2021. Derek Carr.
A while ago, but I guess it counted.
Number one for me. What'd you have the Ravens at?
12-5.
I have the same thing. Ravens 12-5. I think Jesse Minter's a very good coach. Declan Doyle too from the Bears.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He's in the Ben Johnson tree. I think he's gonna cook up with Lamar. Todd Monken did amazing though too.
Yeah.
When he was there. Declan Doyle's going to bring a lot of versatility to this offense. He's going to scheme up a lot of runs for Lamar, I assume. I think Derrick Henry's going to get his fair share, of course. I think Zay Flowers will have a chance to eat, but there's always when a new coordinator or a new coach comes in, they find somebody on the team that people aren't too high on, that they're high on themselves, that's going to probably blow up and have a big year. That's probably going to be Jacoby Lane, or maybe Rashad Bateman can get coached up and be revived to some extent.
He's going to play.
Why, is he holding out?
No,
or is
like
he hurt?
Arrested.
Arrested.
But what? It was a misdemeanor?
some domestic
You
abuse,
never know
shit
with
like
the
that.
NFL.
Yeah.
Like the NFL, I hate to say it, but like all these guys get off on everything.
Yeah.
So it's not like anything insane is gonna probably happen for him. Maybe a suspension, but losing Isaiah Likely is big because Mark Andrews has to step up even though he's getting older. So we'll see what this Ravens offense looks like, but I'm expecting big things from the team in a whole, though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar won another MVP, too, if they were the number one seed or something.
I have the Ravens at 10-7, just because I have the Steelers 9-8, or 8-9, Bengals 9-8. So I think it's going to be close. But I do think they're by far the best team in the division. I think Lamar has a great year this year. I feel like I think the defense will be better, and he'll benefit from that. He can play more loose. He can make more crazy plays like he was early in his career. So I think that'll be awesome. Trey Hendrickson is what they needed. He'll be sweet as well. And I think getting Jacoby Lane out of the draft and Elijah Surratt out of the draft, like those are two reliable receivers that you can come in and be your one can be the 2, probably Jacoby Lane, and Surratt can be your 3-4, depending on Bateman. You can easily move on from Bateman now, get him out of there and have Surratt. So I think the Ravens are in a great position. I think they can be a major threat this year.
One thing too with the Ravens, they always seem to get hurt. They always seem to get hurt. A couple guys go down that are big pieces for them. So like honestly, the NFL every year, it mostly comes down to who's the most healthy team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're healthy, you're probably going to have a lot of success. But, yeah, I got the Ravens as the 2 seed in the AFC. Do you know ballpark? Well, you'd probably be around the same.
They're my 4 seed.
4 seed, yeah, 10-7.
Yeah.
Still home playoff game, which is big, though. But the AFC of 4-5 is the best wildcard team is usually an elite team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially this year.
2 seed?
2 seed, Texans 1 seed.
Let's talk about a couple things that happened, like more older news, but still worth talking about. Vita Vea finally got his payday, which we were talking about on here a couple episodes ago. So he went from saying he was holding out, and then they're like, are you going to play this year if we don't give you a contract? He said no. The same day the Buccaneers pay him. Highest D tackle in NFL history. I think
can look that up.
I think he just got a 1-year $30 million extension. Is that right?
Yeah.
1 year $30 million. It might be the highest ever, and I think it's fully guaranteed too. So most guaranteed for a D tackle, most AV a year for a D tackle. So in my opinion, he deserves it. He held the Bucs hostage essentially.
Yep.
Deserved.
Definitely deserved. He is a major threat out there. He definitely improves their defense too. So I think the Bucs kind of maybe sat back and looked at him. We're like, you know what, we do really need this dude. We will give him what he's asking for. It'll make our defense a lot better. So I feel like in the end, that's what it came down to. Hey, if we move on from him, we're going to be weak up in the middle of our defense. And if we sign him, we're still going to be awesome on the back end. So
yeah, for me, it gives a little bit of hope more for the Buccaneers too, just considering Ruben Bain looks like a certified freak out there right now.
Yeah.
I see a bunch of clips of him training like when everyone's off the field, and then he's making noise in preseason too in real games, so it's just not really social media hype. And then Vita Vea, since Brady came there that Super Bowl year, he's just been the engine. He stops the run. Sometimes he hits home at the QB. He's just the engine for that team. Everyone's got to double team him, so it's good. It also frees up a lot of pass rush for Ruben Bain if two interior guys are taking him. Ruben Bain gets to go one-on-one on the outside. This is big.
Yeah, it's big. Well, I was actually looking at the contracts. And I realized Jalen Carter's making $8 million or $8 million more.
Ooh.
38 a year.
Oh yeah, he got recently extended though, so yeah, that makes sense.
A ton.
Yeah. In the last one that we didn't get to last episode, I wish Wyatt was here. Jaden Daniels with this suing LSU 5 saga. It's completely blown up on social media to everybody. We only scored 4 goals because we have respect for Jaden Daniels, all this stuff. His mother's his agent as well. She always says she's the best for him and this and that. How bad of a look is this on one of the biggest stars in the NFL and American sports?
It's a very bad look because now you got all the old timers looking back at you saying like, "Come on, Rook! Like what are you doing here? Like we haven't had our numbers retired."
Joe Burrow's number's not retired at LSU, by the way, for everybody.
It's not retired, but they said it's being held so no one can use it. Is what they said.
But why does Jaden Daniels deserve
exactly.
that same? Did he even get to the college football playoffs with LSU? I don't think so.
He just won a Heisman there. Joe Burrow won a championship
Heisman.
For them.
It wasn't even like.
And it's like you just outside of anyone else who didn't get their numbers retired. I mean, Shedeur and Travis Hunter is a whole different story because that's just propaganda in the media, so you can't talk about that. But just LSU alone, look at all the greats that have came out there, and their number hasn't been retired from LSU. That's when you kind of got to look at it and go, all right, like, come on, like, I'm doing way too much. Like, you just kind of ruined your image a little bit because now I don't know if it's much him saying this or if it's his mom doing all of this, but
that's what bothers me
his
too.
His image has definitely taken a hit because now you're going to look at this guy and be like, he is selfish.
Because, like, I don't want to bash Jaden Daniels' mom, but I'm going to be honest. A real agent would say, hey, enough with this shit, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, LSU's one of the biggest colleges.
And he's one of the only players to come out and actually do this.
Can you please search up for me LSU athletes whose numbers are not retired? LSU legends numbers that are not retired. Something along those lines. Because I guarantee you we'll get 20 names that are way bigger legends than Jaden Daniels. And we're just talking at LSU too, right? We're not talking if Jaden Daniels goes on and wins 10 Super Bowls. It's irrelevant to what he did at LSU. Mm-hmm. A bunch of busts have their college numbers retired. Johnny Manziel, is he retired at A&M?
I actually don't know.
I don't know if he, or maybe because like he was a absolute lunatic, they didn't do anything with it.
Probably not because
why is it hard to pull up? But Burrow's number is not in the rafters yet.
Tyrann Mathieu isn't. Odell isn't. Jarvis Landry isn't. Leonard Fournette isn't. Like I'd have Leonard Fournette's number retired way before Jaden Daniels. Way before.
He's actually the first one who called him out. I believe.
For sure. As that really deserved.
Shaq maybe for his basketball number. I don't know if he's retired there too. And, like, Neighbors should be over him. Jefferson should be... No, sorry. Jefferson and Chase should be over him because they were on the iconic team. And they were the focal point. Yeah.
He's doing
I don't know, Jaden Daniels, man.
Doing too much.
Do you have anything, or...
Yeah, like Burrow, Patrick Peterson, Chase,
yeah, Patrick Peterson's a legend.
Leonard Fournette.
Yep.
Who was great.
I don't know. It's just became such a big thing where I feel like it's too popular not to talk about. But yeah, Jaden Daniels, end this. Just have a good year, or else people are gonna be on your head all year.
Hilarious.
Anyways, that's all we got for today. We got 2 divisions left: AFC East and AFC West. So it's gonna be entertaining. We got MVP predictions coming up too. We got playoff predictions coming up too. We got Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year to come still too. So we're getting to the good stuff now. Only less than two weeks away from the first Sunday.
Yep.
Sub 21 days from the first game. It's close. So that's going to do it for episode 74 of the Alec Frengos Show. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.